Hey guys, my name is Maisha and I'm a Sephora beauty director, and today I'll be showing you how to achieve this very quick but job interview ready look. I have a firm belief that when you sort of take charge of your appearance and can make yourself look really good and feel really good, it just sets you up for the day. Something that Sephora does that I'm also very passionate about is we have classes for confidence, and this is part of our free beauty classes that we provide for those of you re-entering the workforce, people in the transgender community, or those of you who are going through cancer. I feel like it's sort of our duty and our pleasure to provide you with the tools and product knowledge you need to sort of get through the day and feel your most confident. So I'm going to show you how to get this look. So you always want to set yourself up for success by properly cleansing your face. Bonus points if you have a cleanser that actually removes makeup from the day before. I really love something that's nice and soothing and doesn't strip my skin, that makes it feel very comfortable after I've washed it. So this one's a really great choice. And after you've properly cleansed your skin, you always want to hydrate. Whether you have oily skin like myself or drier or combination skin, depends on what moisturizer you might like best. I like something that's more like a lotion texture that has a hyaluronic acid in it. I find that's very hydrating but not very heavy on the skin. If you're drier or live in a really cold climate, you might want to go for something kind of creamy, whatever works best underneath your foundation. So as far as applying moisturizer, you want to take like a pea size or so and put it on your hands and then just sort of blend it into your hands. I find this is a little bit easier than sort of rubbing it from one area of the face all over, and just take the time to sort of massage it in, always with upward motions. And this is kind of a little moment for you to give yourself a little self-care. It feels really nice. I feel like your skin is more moisturized when you actually massage it in versus kind of just slapping it on. And it's a really nice way to sort of get some blood flow going. So after you've prepped your skin with moisturizer, you'll know it's ready when it sort of feels bouncy and sort of tacky to the touch. You can go into your complexion product. You can use something like a BB cream, which is a bit more sheer and has SPF and really good things for your skin in it, a tinted moisturizer that's very lightweight, or something like a full coverage foundation, which I'm gonna be using today. So after you figured out what sort of formula you wanna use, you wanna think about the shade. That's very important. It can also be kind of hard to choose a shade on your own, so we have a free service at Sephora and Sephora inside JCPenney that's called our Color IQ service. We have this cool little device right here that takes pictures of your skin in a couple different places and gives you the perfect match for you with all the hundreds of foundations that we have within the store. So I'll be using the Sephora Collection 10-Hour Foundation, and not only is this formula really reliable, I love the fact that Sephora Collection has complexion products for $20 or less, so you can get a full range of concealers, foundations, powders for a pretty affordable price. So I'm just going to be taking a little bit of this and putting it on the back of my hand. I like to work off the back of my hand so I'm not putting too much directly on the face. And now I'm gonna be taking a foundation brush. You can use a sponge, you can use your hands, whatever feels more comfortable to you. And before I just sort of dot it all over my face, I'm gonna work it into the brush. If I take a little bit of it at a time and blend it on that way, I won't get any streaks, I won't get too heavy of a complexion in certain areas. It'll go on nice and seamless, almost like I'm airbrushing it on. So I want a full coverage overall, but what I like to do is sort of start out with a thin coverage all over. And if you have a brush that's kind of round and dense like this, you can do sort of circular buffing motions. If you have a really flat brush, you can do more of these up and down motions. I really like these because my skin is a little textured, so these sort of denser, rounder brushes are really nice to sort of smooth everything out. After I get my nice thin layer all over, I'll be going back in and sort of pressing on those areas where I need more coverage. If you don't need a lot of coverage, doing pretty quick motions is nice. If you need a lot of coverage, just kind of tapping on and being a little bit more delicate works really nicely. So now that I have a nice thin layer, my skin's sort of evened out, it has a little bit of color to it, I'm gonna go back in a little bit more and just kind of look and see where I need a little bit more coverage and just kind of tap it on. It's very easy to become nervous before something very important like a job interview, and those nerves can cause you to be stressed out and possibly break out. Or if you're not getting enough sleep the day before a job interview, you can also get some dark circles. So Concealer is gonna be your best friend. I have 2 different shades here. Whichever one you choose is up to you. This one matches my skin and this one is more of a brightening shade. So if you have more of a dark circle issue, you can go for something that's a little bit more brightening. But if you just wanna conceal some little breakouts, you can do something that matches your skin pretty easily. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this brightening concealer right here. And I'm gonna put this under my eyes. This also helps to sort of bring a little dimension to your face if you did a full coverage like I did. So when I'm doing it, you can do sweeping motions if you did more of a lightweight coverage, but if you don't want to disturb any of the foundation that you did before, you just want to do some tapping motions. I just really like this because it's super pigmented. When you get a concealer, it's going to be a lot more pigmented than your foundation. That's why it covers so well. So a little goes a long way. Okay, so I'm just sort of creating this triangle of light under my eye. This is gonna give me dimension. If you want your cheekbones to stand out more, that'll help as well. So I've gone ahead and brightened, but if I wanted to cover up maybe any additional little breakouts that the foundation did cover, I would take something that matched my skin. And you can just kind of find anything that's bugging you, tap it on, and just kind of tap over it. You don't want to do a lot of rubbing because what you're going to do is sort of blend all of the concealer away. The tapping motion just kind of blends it out without disturbing the coverage. And you can just kind of pinpoint individually where you would need to cover and just kind of tap, tap, tap until it's all gone. I finished off my foundation with a bit of translucent powder. Translucent is pretty sheer and works for pretty much all skin tones, so that's probably the easiest way to go as far as setting your foundation to make sure it lasts all day. Now that we have evened out skin, we're gonna go ahead and enhance our complexion with a bit of bronzer or blush or both, like I'm gonna do today. I like a bit of shape to my face and I like that sort of bronzy, beachy look, so I'm gonna be going in with a little bit of this. I'm gonna be using the exact same brush I use for foundation, but I just wiped it off really nicely so it didn't have any leftover foundation on it. Now, you don't have to contour, you just wanna give a little bit of life to your face if you feel like you need it. I feel like when I wear a full coverage foundation, I have to sort of add back in a little bit of the color that I might have taken away. So if you have more of a sheer complexion, you can still see all those natural dimensions in your face, you probably don't need to do bronzer, it's up to you. So you always want to take it from the ear and pull it forward. If you start here and pull it back, what you'll end up with is sort of a circle or a strange line that kind of suddenly appears. This way it can kind of sort of drift off and blend really nicely. You can also use this on the forehead just to kind of round it out a little bit. You don't want the only place you put bronzer to just be here because that's all people are going to look at. You want to sort of have a whisper of it everywhere on the face, if just a little bit. You can do a little bit on the chin. I like to take my brush and just use the very side and sort of use it as eyeshadow. It gives a little bit of shape to the crease. It's really nice to use just to kind of give you a little warmth in the eye area, especially if you're not really going to do much as far as eyeshadow goes. And if you want to do a little bit on your nose, you can. You can also use this as a blush if you want to, if you want something more neutral. I like a nice bright blush, a little bit of pop of color, so I'm going to be going in with this sort of like tangerine type of color that has a little bit of shimmer to it. If you have lighter skin, you might want to go with something a little bit more subtle, whatever color you naturally flush. If you have deeper skin, it's always better to go brighter as opposed to darker. Darker can kind of look a little bit bruisey, but brighter always sort of perks up the skin really nicely. So I'm going on the apples of my cheek, or the sort of the chubbiest part of my cheek. I'm going around and kind of bringing it back. So if you're curious as to what color blush to wear, you can base it off of what lip colors you like to wear. I love to wear lip colors of this similar shade, so that works really nicely for me. You can also use a cream blush. I'm a big fan of cream blushes. They work really, really nicely for drier skin, and they also double as a lipstick as well. Now I'm going to go into a bit of eyeliner, and I'm actually going to tightline. And tightline just means that you're darkening the lash line. It's not very noticeable, but it makes a big difference, especially once you put your mascara on. You can use whichever color you want. I have a black and brown liner here. I think I'm gonna go in with black, and I'm just gonna put this on and then use a cotton swab to sort of blend it out. You can also use your fingers, whatever works better. So what you're gonna do is use a finger just to anchor yourself. You don't want to pull your eye too harshly. And you're going to place the eyeliner and aim for the lashes and just wiggle it back and forth. You don't want to go too fast. That's when you can make a mistake. And this doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's very close to your lash line. This is going to thicken the lashes and just make it look nice and clean and precise. Very professional, and your lashes will look so much thicker once you put mascara on. So we're going to take our finger and just kind of blend it back and forth slowly. If you feel like you need more precision, just grab a cotton swab and just gently smooth it out. You can add a little bit extra on the outer corner if you want. You can sort of wing it if you like. You want your eyes to be drawn out a little bit further. I would say the most important part is just making sure that inner corner is nice and done, because that's where it's going to look nice and polished. So you can see that I've added a bit of eyeliner. It just makes my eyes look a little bit more defined. My lashes actually look like they have a bit of mascara on, and they do not. So now we're going to finish up with mascara. This is a nice thickening formula. You can choose whichever formula works best for your lashes. My lashes are long but very, very fine and thin, so I love a thickening formula. When you are using mascara, never pump it. That's just pushing air into the bottle. You want to take it and sort of like swirl it around like this, especially when you're running out. That'll get every last drop of mascara. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of work from the bottoms of my lashes and really load my lashes up with mascara. And then I can come on the top of my lashes, and this way I get nice thick lashes that are getting mascara from the top and the bottom. And just kind of working, thickening the lashes, but also making sure you don't have any clumps. Clumps can be sort of distracting, especially in a daytime environment. I'm gonna get every last little lash, including the inner corners. So we're gonna move on to the bottom, or the lower lash line. I don't really like too much mascara on the lower lash line. Sometimes I find it a little distracting. So I'm just gonna place it and kind of drag down very gently, just to darken them and so everything looks cohesive. Sometimes when you have a lot of eye makeup on the top but nothing on the bottom, it just kind of looks a little bit unbalanced. So if you do get any smudges, I feel like I always get them on the lower lash line. Just take a little cotton swab and just sort of sweep them away. It's not really a big deal, don't panic. It happens to everybody, happens to me every day. We're gonna finish up with a little bit of a lipstick. Now what formula you choose is definitely up to you. If you're sort of a bold lip kind of person, you can go ahead and do a matte lipstick. I want my lips to stay pretty fresh, pretty natural, and I want them to coordinate with my cheeks. If your cheeks and your lips are sort of in harmony, it just kind of all works out. So I'm gonna be using this color right here, which pretty much matches my cheeks exactly, which is really nice. And it's almost like a lip balm slash lipstick formula. And what I'm gonna do is sort of blush my lips, so to speak, just kind of give them a little bit of natural color. I'm just gonna pop this in the center of my lips and just kind of blend it in. If you have a lipstick that's more fully pigmented, like this one's, I would say pretty pigmented, but you just want a wash of color, just kind of blend it in like a stain. And it'll have more of a softer, sort of natural look to it. If you have deeper skin and you find brighter colors kind of intimidate you, or just brighter colors overall intimidate you, what you can do is take something that's very neutral, like a brown, or if you have fair skin, more of like a rosy, very neutral pink, and kind of use that on the outer part of your lips, and it'll sort of tone down that brighter color, but you'll still get that nice boost of color that looks really nice. So if you want to give a really nice shape to your lips, you can outline the Cupid's bow, which is a top portion of your upper lip right there, and just kind of define it really nicely. Some people go right over it to make it look softer. You can kind of draw a little triangle here just to define it a bit. You can even add a little bit of highlighter there if you want to, but I find just kind of paying attention to the shape of my lips. Now that you're all done, you can check yourself out in a mirror, preferably with some sunlight, because sunlight sort of reveals all. And if you've applied too much blush or too much foundation, you can take a sponge or your fingers and kind of dab it away until you're happy with the result. And pat yourself on the back that you took some time out to make yourself look and feel your best for your very big day. And practice makes perfect. You can watch this video over and over again until you feel very confident in your abilities. But if you feel like you need a little bit more help, you can stop into a Sephora or a Sephora inside JCPenney, and they will be happy to help you out with our mini services and classes and whatnot. If you want to find out more about what I'm wearing on my face, we have this in the description bar below, and you can look at that. If you want more information about our program, you can go to sephorastands.com, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.